Hey there, and welcome to another edition of Sky High History. Today we're visiting one of Pennsylvania's most iconic energy stations and discussing the incident that occurred there, resulting in one of the scariest days in the state's history. If you haven't figured it out already, we're covering 3 Mile Island and the partial meltdown of 1979. No need to drag this intro out any longer, let's get started. The 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station was a nuclear power plant located in Londonderry Township just south of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The plant had 2 units known as TMI-1 and TMI-2. The units were owned by Exelon Generation and First Energy Corp. Respectively. 3 Mile Island's name comes from the fact that it is 3 miles downriver from the town of Middletown, Pennsylvania. It is a man-made island that was originally built by the General Public Utilities Corporation, now known as GPU Incorporated. In the event of a catastrophe, there are 2 emergency planning zones around the nuclear plant as defined by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, henceforth known as the NRC. The first zone is a radius of 10 miles or 16 kilometers around the plant, where the primary concerns would be exposure to and inhalation of airborne radioactive contamination. The second zone is an ingestion pathway zone of about 50 miles or 80 kilometers, where the main concern was ingestion of food and liquid that could have potentially been contaminated by radioactivity. Those zones would come into play on March 28th of 1979. On that day at 3:53 a.m., 2 pumps in TMI-2's secondary feedwater system, a system that cools water that circulates through the reactor core, set off a chain reaction of both human and mechanical errors that would result in nearly 250,000 gallons of radioactive water to leak onto the floor of the reactor containment building. Shortly after, a technician in the control room shut down the first pump after an inaccurate reading from his instruments. This led to a second pump to trip within 6 minutes, which all but dropped the last line of defense against the reactor core overheating. A sump pump in the containment building kicked on to transfer the radioactive water into a nearby auxiliary building, but could not stop radioactive steam from that water from eventually escaping into the atmosphere through a ventilation system. The plant operators then shut down 2 water flow pumps around the core, which only added to the fuel damage and the rise of a now formed hydrogen bubble at the top of the reactor, creating potential for a massive explosion that would devastate Middletown and the surrounding communities. Over the course of the next 6 days, the plant would release intermittent bursts of uncontrolled radioactive steam into the atmosphere, and, while it posed a serious threat, the hydrogen bubble that had formed would eventually decrease in size before being removed. People in Dauphin, Lancaster, and York counties were evacuated from their homes, and emergency response teams from around the country were brought in to mitigate the situation safely. During this time, it is estimated by the NRC that nearly 10 million curies of radiation were released into the atmosphere during the accident from 2 different types of radioactive material, krypton-85 and the much more lethal iodine-131. For those of you that might not be familiar with what a curie is, it is a unit of measurement for radioactivity that denotes the quantity or mass of radium emanation in equilibrium with 1 gram of radium. To put this into perspective, that's roughly the equivalent to an 11-ton block of radium. Astoundingly, there were no deaths during the course of the 3 Mile Island meltdown, and there have been no cases of cancer linked to the incident between then and now. There are many accounts of that day in the not-so-distant past that vary slightly from person to person, but one view is shared by everyone. The meltdown at 3 Mile Island was the worst nuclear accident in the history of the United States. The nuclear plant at 3 Mile Island has since been shut down, with TMI-1 being decommissioned on September 20th, 2019. Exelon stated in April of 2019 that it would cost $1.2 billion over the next 60 years to completely decommission TMI-1. Well, I hope you learned something new today. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below, and if you really liked my video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are on the quest to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm not going to stop reminding you until we get there. If you want to stay in the loop with all things Drone Geek Lancaster, hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button. It'll send you a notification every time I post a new video, making sure you see all of my content as soon as it comes out. Until next time, I'm Chris with Drone Geek Lancaster, and this has been another episode of Sky High History. Stay informed and have a nice day.